If someone wants to become a referee, where should they get started?
All right. So basically, a place like this, I mean, it's let's say this is a top tier event, but let's say the beginning, it all starts by being a volunteer. This is the first thing you have to do. Like the first thing you have to do is like find your own passion. Feel like okay, I like this thing. I like being on the stage like this. I like this place. I want to contribute to the community. So the thing is that I'm doing is like first build up the mindset, like the mindset that I'm willing to give out things. So if you get there, if you start as a volunteer, then you try to learn things, maybe through classes, through experience, any way possible.
In order to be a referee, what skills do you need to hone before you start?
All right. So something that's very important is, let's say, those that in business you can say soft skills,
Sure.
like communication. That's A and Z for sure. Then it's like team skills. Like you need to be able to work in a team. Like this team, for example, Apex or the previous game I was working with, PUBG Mobile, had more than 20 people. So it's actually a fairly big group of people that you have to work with. So working in a team, it's a big plus. Communication is a big plus. Then other things come into handy, like leadership skills, especially when you climb up the ranks, or I don't know, like time management. That's also a nice thing to have. Also multitasking. So all of those things are pretty important while working on any kind of stage, either online or offline.
Right now, if you want to become an esports referee, I'm curious, like, what was your educational background? If you didn't have much about becoming a referee, are there options available now in order to learn about this?
Perfect. So, personally, I had nothing to do with esports. Like, I started my career back in 2016 as a volunteer. Before that, I was managing some online communities, so I didn't have anything to do with esports. And my background, my personal background is physics and energy systems, like renewables energy. So it's completely irrelevant with those things. Currently, there are courses available for people that want to do so. And I mean, we did that program with the Saudi Esports Federation, which it was great. I mean, I got also as in the teaching side, I got so many different perspectives. Like, and I met a lot of people that were passionate. Some of them were young, like 20s. Other were older, like 40s. Which, okay, generally, let's say the age is not a factor, but it is at the same time because biologically you might not have the strength to be standing for like 8 or 10 or 12 hours. But other than that, right now you have a lot of options, and taking a short class or seminar can actually help you speed run and overtake some of your, let's say, competitors in getting in one of these spots.
My next question for you is, you have experience working in the space with other referees. In your opinion, what is it that separates a good referee from a great referee?
All right. What I think that's most important is attention to detail. Like a good referee can be on the stage. That's fine. Like can be doing things that his manager asks you to do or her manager. But a good referee, he will be able to spot all the tiny details that can make a difference. For example, a referee can actually spot something like electronic devices, can spot like small bugs in game. He may be able to make a bug call difference. Like, let's say that we had multiple cases that a referee had to know the game so he can understand whether there is a bug or not. Also, a good referee and a great referee have a difference of them. It's actually communication. Like, if you go to a player, like you have a player complaining, we had it a lot of those weeks. We had a player complaining. If you just go to player and just confirm what he says, then the player has demands from you. So he might need points, he might need some rulings for in his favor. Instead, like a great referee would just acknowledge, see the issue, try to talk with his team, and try to find a solution together. He won't just rush into a decision, say, okay, yeah, you're right, let's do that. No, it's not how this works.
We've touched on it already, but if you had to summarize what a referee actually does, what are the things that a referee actually does?
Basically, there are a lot of kinds of referees. Each company, or maybe better, each tournament organizer, based on the needs of the game and the structure, has different needs. For example, in this stage, Apex Legends, we have tech referees, people that are working with tech issues. We have game or stage admins that are working on stage. Let's say a breakdown would be like we're getting the players locked in, seated. Then we make sure that they are in the lobby in their correct spots. Their gear is ready. Their sound is good. They don't have any issues that will take away from their gameplay or their performance. Then they play the game. We monitor to see that everything is fine, which usually it is in this kind of tournament because many things are not allowed, such as electronic devices, such as USB sticks. You can't just grab one and just put it in the PC, of course. Then the game is over. And the players go for their break. A good referee over there is in touch with the other departments, such as player managers or player hospitality, to make sure that he gets his team back on time, and don't delay the production. Because in live events like this one, every second counts. So if let's say one referee did not have his team ready by, let's say, I don't know, 1 p.m. or whatever is the call time of the game, then the whole production will delay, and that will cause multiple issues for multiple departments. So it's very important to be on time. And of course, uphold the rule sets and make sure that you do everything you need to do as your job as a referee.
What do you say is the hardest part of being a referee?
Hardest part is to deal with players' complaints. What I mean, you're on stage and you're trying to give a penalty to someone, because I had it last week. We tried to give penalty for being late. The player would always complain, would always find an excuse. It's literally like sports, like basketball or football. When a referee calls a foul or something or gives out a booking, the player will complain. And you have to deal with complaint in such a way that, first off, you are not offensive against the player, which many referees in the past, try to be a bit more offensive, and the player, takes it a bit weird, and, it can go easily on Twitter, which is something that no tournament organizer wants. Oh, and of course, this will make your relationship with your manager even worse, so it doesn't help you at all. So handling player complaints, it's something very delicate that requires experience and requires soft talking. Like, you give the penalty, you explain the reason why, you make sure that the player understands it, and even if he tries to go against you, then you just try to throw the book in a way that, okay, you did this is in the rule book, this is that you signed up for. If you don't have any issue with that or any feedback, you can take it to our supervisor at the end of the day so we can review it. And that's it.
I'm also curious now on the job side of things. As a referee, what kind of people are hiring you?
All sorts of people. There is no specifics about who will hire you. I mean, okay, some things are a plus, especially in international tournaments, like speaking multiple languages. Example, here in this region, many Arabic-speaking admins are here because we have a lot of Arabic-speaking players. Knowing an extra language and even master it is a huge plus, because it can help you in many different aspects. For instance, we got Japanese people that do not speak English. We got Arabic people that do not speak English. Of course, you can't learn all of these languages, but mastering one or two can give you an edge over the competition and can actually boost up your CV and make sure that you get hired. Of course, game knowledge can be a plus. Having a good network it's always a plus. I think that should be it. Nothing else. You do a good job. You are focused on what you're doing on stage, and people will keep hiring you, as long as they have the budget for it. Because it's always a budget issue at some point.
When it comes to getting a job in esports, especially as a referee, how important has networking been for you?
I think that networking is A and Z. You can't work in esports right now without a good network, because right now you need to know, let's say, the tournament manager, so as he can get you in his team. If you do good work with him, he will keep hiring you, and so on. Without a good network, you can't do anything. It's so important for new referees that are coming into business that they should build their own network. The network cannot just be, okay, just follow some people on Twitter. No, you can just build it up by working with people, by even other volunteers. I had when I started, other volunteers. Now some of them are TMs, and I have worked for them. So it's good to build your network in any possible way, like attend events, like talk to people, like try to find out what's going on, and so on.
I guess any final advice for someone who's trying to break through and get their first referee gig at, maybe a notable tournament so that they can put on their resume and get more after it?
Okay, sure. Do not go for tier 1 tournaments like your first step, like as a first step. No, start small, start low, start local, and build it up. If you're expecting like to do a course, to do a class, or if anyone just promise you, okay, yeah, sure, do this and I will get you to, I don't know, esports World Cup, it will not work. Even if it works, even if you get there, you will miserably fail, and most likely you will not be hired again in the future. So start small and learn. This is the most important advice that I can give to someone that's coming in this business. Build network, maybe build up his perks, his skills, and make sure that he finds something he's good at in any way, so he can just grow and, I don't know, be here. Why not?
Any final advice that you'd give to someone who wants to be like you? They want to work at the Esports World Cup one day as a referee.
Build a nice network. Be good to other referees and work hard, work good, focus on giving good quality of work, and that's it. Like if you're good at what you're doing, and you are sure that your manager sees that you're good at what you're doing, and you have the skill set that's needed, you don't have to do anything else. I really dislike some logic that's happening every now and then of sucking up on people so as to get to a place they want to. It's not good in the long term. It might get you some kind of work, some kind of gigs, but that's it. It's not going to work out in the long term, especially if you want to stay in this industry for a long time and not just be like 1 or 2 years and that's it.
Love it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.